Good day, everyone. Meteorologist Mark Muller here. How's everybody getting along? Let's take a look at what's going on with the tropics. We have Tropical Storm Frank and Georgette basically in very close proximity of each other in the Eastern Pacific. Are we going to see any more intensification out of these storms? Are they going to dance around each other? Are we going to see anything in the Atlantic? I'll break the whole Atlantic down for you as well as the entire Pacific. And what the heck is this heading towards the eastern part of the United States and North America, for that matter? That is another heat wave. You guessed it. And I'll go over all the details of that. I know a lot of you don't want this coming your way. Let's get into it. All right, so look at this. This is Frank. Frank's looking a bit more impressive today. There's a bit more showers and thunderstorms, albeit they are on the southern side of the system. But look at, things are starting to wrap around and go Frank's way here. Now, up here we have Georgette. Georgette's kind of going to meander in what is going to be the wake here of Frank. So it's going to dance around Frank, so to speak. It's going to remain the smaller of the two systems. So this is pretty interesting. And then look at that. You see the big old monsoon up here from Cabo San Lucas down to Acapulco and Puerto Vallarta. Definitely looking pretty nasty up there, especially just inland of the coast there. All right, so take a look at the tropics here. We have Frank and Georgette here. They're going to do their little dance around each other the next couple days. Frank's going to go up like this, and Georgette's going to come around. So they're going to dance around each other, the Fujiwhara effect, and what's going to happen here in the Eastern Pacific. So let's continue to put this into motion here, and we're going to see if we have anything going into August here. So there's Frank, there's Georgette. Now, you can see Frank is definitely, as I showed you on the satellite picture, the bigger of the two. There's Georgette kind of pinwheeling southeastward here, and Frank's being forced up around. So they're definitely going cyclonically like this. So if you take a look at the Atlantic, it's not really impressive, because look what happens here. There's a lot of high-level clouds, dust being funneled to the southwest here. That's keeping these tropical waves too far to the south, smashing them into Venezuela here. That's definitely not what you want to see for tropical development. Now, we do have a pretty active intertropical divergence zone here. There's a couple waves back in through portions of Africa, but nothing too terribly bad. And, you know, the big show here is in the Eastern Pacific with Frank. Look at that. So Frank's probably going to be winding up here pretty intensely towards possibly hurricane status. You can see that. Look at that. So that's pretty intense. Now, the monsoon you can see across the western Mexican coast and just inland continues from Acapulco up to Puerto Vallarta and just inland these areas. Cabo San Lucas, you're staying dry out of all this. So let's take a look. The western Pacific. Well, let's take a look. Central Pacific, south of Hawaii. We got a few areas of interesting development potential. Here across the western Pacific, we're going to have potential tropical system. This is Saturday, July 30th. So look at all this tropical moisture feeding up into southern Japan and eventually here South Korea. And at this point here across Taiwan, things look pretty clear. As I showed you the previous video that I did, it showed a hurricane bearing down on Taiwan. So let's go in time and see if that is still showing up on the GFS here. So look at this. We go to Monday, August 1st, 11 a.m. Look at this. The Atlantic, yeah, you got some pretty interesting tropical waves here. But once they get off the coast, look what happens to them. They get sheared apart, dry air from the dust to the north here. You can see it showing up here. Just very quiet here across the Caribbean and the Gulf. Now, things might change here. I'll show you that as we continue on this model. There's Frank and what's left of Georgette here, kind of dancing around each other. Here in the Western Pacific, this is where things get a little bit interesting. Take a look at this. This big old mess around the Philippines up towards Taiwan and eastern China. This is right around the Tuesday, August 2nd event. So, you know, as we continue in time here, let's take a look. Does this develop it into anything? Well, it keeps it pretty much an open wave. Plenty of tropical moisture, as you can see. Tuesday, August 2nd here. And there is another wave out here into the western and central Pacific. And look at that. Frank's kind of fizzling out by this point, but look what starts to happen. A lot of tropical waves around Panama here, just south of Guatemala and El Salvador. And another wave, as I said, these are too far to the south here along the north coast of Venezuela. Another big wave coming off the African coastline. Still pretty clear into the Gulf. So as we head in time here, let's take a look and see what happens. Yeah, there's just not too much going on the first week of August here until you get to right around, take a look at this. This is Friday, August 5th. We start to have some sort of development here, or tropical wave along the Western Caribbean here, the Central American coastline. So we'll keep an eye on that. A big tropical wave here coming off. You know, Cape Verde season is definitely going to start opening up here shortly, I believe, as always does. And look at this. We start to see some sort of development here. But look how south, this is Taiwan. This is much further south, you know, towards, you know, the Philippines and these areas. We might be looking at the potential for a tropical system further to the south here. So definitely want to keep an eye on that. If you live in the, you know, in and around the western Pacific Islands, the Philippines, definitely want to keep an eye on that. And as we continue in time here, we head towards Saturday, August 6th. This is a pretty big tropical wave here off the African coast. Big old mess here in Central America we got to keep our eye on. The Gulf's still quiet. And look at this. We head into the western, look at that, Pacific here. We get into some of this region here. It's staying south of Taiwan at this point. So, you know, just north of Manila here. Take a look at that. Lots of shower and thunderstorm activity. This could be a tropical system. So definitely keep an eye on this. This is the weekend of August 6th. So, you know, as we continue in time here, let's see if we see anything in the Atlantic. So this is getting, you know, Monday, the 8th of August. This system's pulling a little bit north towards China, keeping it just along the South China coastline here, keeping it away from Taiwan for the most part. But you know, the margin of error is within 200 or 300 miles. So if you're anywhere in this region, definitely keep an eye on this system. There's another tropical wave out here east of the Philippines. So take a look at this as we get into the Eastern Pacific. As I've always said, things in the Eastern Pacific, if they're active, it's more than likely it's quiet in the Atlantic. Now, there's going to be a little period of, there's going to be a little bit of a lull in the the Eastern Pacific during the first week of August. So we'll have to keep an eye on that to see if that continues. Just not looking at the development that we would normally see here in the Atlantic, but it's still early. But look at this. We get towards, say, Tuesday, August 9th. Look at this. We start to see some potential development here in the Gulf, the Western Caribbean, and look at this. Potential hurricane in the Eastern Pacific here. Another big wave coming off the coast of Africa, albeit it's a little bit further to the south. But look at this. This is definitely going to be something to keep an eye on here. And, of course, the Eastern Pacific is opening up again towards Wednesday, August 10th. But look at all this tropical moisture. Something might come out of this. So as we continue in time here, just watch that. All right, so let's take a look at the Euro for the Atlantic here. High pressure really retreated to the northeast here. That's going to allow slowly this intertropical convergence zone to slide a bit to the north here. And let's take this in time. Saturday, Sunday. Notice how we have that proverbial high that continues to try to build across the west. That's going to, as long as you have that going on, these systems are going to stay pretty far to the south. You know, as we go through time here, does the Euro have any, well, it's picking up on the same thing the GFS is here. Look at this, is by Tuesday, August 2nd. So, you know, this intertropical convergence zone is still pretty far to the south. Too far to the south for my liking to see anything major come out of this in the short to medium term. But let's see, if we continue towards Saturday, August 6th, Sunday, August 7th. Yeah, it keeps it pretty active here across Central America and the Western Caribbean. And look at this. A hint of a stronger wave further north. All right, so let's take a look at the Eastern Pacific on the Euro. There is Frank. There's Georgette. We're going to watch them do their dance here around. Take a look at that. So, yeah, that's Saturday, July 30th. And takes Frank up, wow, 979 millibar. That's pretty intense. And then Georgette kind of pinwheels towards the southwest and then eventually the southeast and gets absorbed into Frank's circulation there. Look at that. It becomes a little bit quieter behind it for a little time there. This is Thursday, August 4th. until you get around Friday, August 5th and the 6th, you start to get some tropical waves start to kick in here as well. So, and there's the monsoon up along the western Mexican coastline. All right, so the Euro, yeah, we're pumping some tropical moisture north towards the southern tip of Japan into South Korea here. Big old tropical stream, but look at this. Does the Euro pick up on what the GFS does south of Taiwan? Not really. And when you are looking for upcoming storms, if you don't see anything on the other model, chances are is not a good chance that something's going to develop. In fact, the Euro's pretty clear here around Taiwan southward towards the northern Philippines. So yeah, definitely nothing really happening here on the Euro. So we'll watch it. All right, so what is going on here? Let's take a look at first the HRRR model. We're going to take a look and see what is happening on the Mesoscale here. Do we have any chance of severe weather going into Friday, into the weekend, and into early next week? Well, let's take a look. We'll start with the first part of the end of your week. Take a look at this. We got some showers and thunderstorms here across the Ohio Valley, western Appalachians, and here in the southern plains as well. This is the ring of fire that's been shoved basically to the south here. And, you know, as we go in time here, there's not going to be any wide-scale areas of severe weather, but there could be some areas that do pack a punch here. So look at this. Probably some sort of squall line here. This is 1 p.m. Friday. And look at this up here across parts of Pennsylvania. Might have to watch out for a stronger cell from Altoona southward here. Just east of Morgantown, West Virginia. And there could be some showers, you know, developing up here along Route 6 in Pennsylvania, up towards Binghamton. So, you know, before this front actually comes through, it's actually kind of stuck up in this region. You're still going to have the problems of this moisture surge that's going to be happening. So let's continue to put this into motion here, and we'll see exactly what's going on here. This is a front that doesn't want to come through into the northeast here. So we're having a front hang up here. So showers and thunderstorms are going to continue into this area. Binghamton, over to Bradford, Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh, you might have some residual showers and thunderstorms. State College area, Williamsport, this is by 3 p.m. Harrisburg, some heavier showers and thunderstorm potential. And look at this down in through parts of Virginia and West Virginia as well. And we get North Carolina in on the act as well. So let's continue to go here in motion. Take a look at this. So we start to get rid of, in here in western Pennsylvania, we start to get rid of a bit of this shower and thunderstorm activity. So you see the front is actually trying to move here. Harrisburg, you're still in the thick of it here. Binghamton, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Albany, Hartford. We're going to get some beneficial rain, hopefully, out of some of this here. And look at this. We could have some big-time thunderstorms here around the Washington, D.C., Baltimore area right around 5 p.m., just in time for your afternoon and evening rush. That is not good news, but definitely some much-needed rain, some stronger storms out here in parts of Arkansas as well. So, you know, as we continue to go on here, take a look. This is 7 p.m., 8 p.m. We move it east of the I-81 corridor, but look at this. We're getting in on the act of it up here in the big cities of the Northeast. Hudson Valley, you're still kind of in the thick of it as well, the eastern Catskills, so maybe another stray shower or thunder shower. Nothing too terribly bad. Look at the strongest cells start to push off Atlantic City, Cape May, down into parts of Delmarva and eastern Virginia here, the Tidewater. And look at that. Definitely looking like a beautiful evening here shaping up across interior Northeast. But we still got some residual showers and thunderstorms along the coast. And look at this. We head into Saturday. We're just cruising along here. Look at this. This is a beautiful day across the Northeast. So take a look here. This is an AM3 kilometer. There's going to be a little bit of overlap here. I want to just show you a critical time period here because look what's going on here across central Virginia and North Carolina. The storms on the NAM are really ramping up here. Now, they were pretty good here on the HRRR as well, but look at some of these. We could be looking at some big-time showers and thunderstorms, damaging wind, large hail, maybe an isolated tornado. Now, watch this area here. This is going to turn into what could be a heavy rain event. So let's kick this into motion here, and I'll show you the rainfall totals momentarily. But look at this. So yeah, we got a big old area of heavy rain thunderstorms across Harrisburg. So some of this could be very heavy. We get down towards the Tidewater of Virginia. Look at this interior North Carolina. We could be looking at some stronger thunderstorms as well. You know, as we continue in time, take a look. The NAM is a little bit more progressive here. This is 8 p.m., so most of the showers and thunderstorms are east of this zone by this point. But take a look at this. Look what happens overnight here. This is interesting. This is a big old heavy rain, torrential rain here across southeastern Pennsylvania. And even though you do need the rain, that is a lot of rain. And look at that. You put that into New York City, 12 a.m., midnight, Friday night, and then out into Long Island. You could be seeing rainfall rates of 1 to 2 inches an hour out of this. Now, it does look pretty progressive enough that we're not going to see severe, catastrophic flooding, but the threat is there for some potential flash flooding that could go on with this. And I wanted to throw that out to you because look how, now this, see how it keeps most of the torrential rain off the coast? This could be very beneficial across eastern and southern part of New England here. That actually, you really seriously need the rain here in New England. And look, that pulls out by Saturday. There's that beautiful day into Sunday, early Sunday morning. All right, let's take rainfall amounts through Monday here on the High Resolution Euro. You notice a common theme here. Look at most of the rain. Actually, let's just back that up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so you notice most of the rain here is in the Central Plains to parts of the Southeast and Mid-Atlantic. So as we get into the Northeast, are we going to squelch this drought? Well, Euro is a bit more conservative here than the Mesoscale models. Do show a significant period of rain up through parts of Altoona, down through the Appalachians here into parts of southeastern and eastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, and then it kind of peters out here in eastern New England where you really desperately need the rain. All right, so the NAM that showed that real massive heavy area precipitation across southern and eastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey. Yeah, so if this does pan out, look at parts of southeastern Pennsylvania here. You could get upwards of 2, 3, close to 4 inches of rain in some of these areas. Then it kind of slides it off the coast here and keeps most of the heavier rain off to the south, where most areas in New England get a 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch out of this. So let's take a look. All right, so John here in the 72 to sunny degrees, East Beckham Stadium, Old Trafford, Manchester, UK. Take a look at that. Beautiful day here across this region. Just looking like a nice day to get out there and enjoy it right out on the area roadway. 72 degrees and sunny. That is the perfect temperature and weather. Nice capture there, John. All right, so the drought's looking pretty bad here across the Northeast. You can see, take a look at this. This is just newly updated Thursday, July 28th. The severe drought is encompassing eastern Connecticut, all of Rhode Island, all of eastern Massachusetts, and parts of central Massachusetts now. So this is bad news. Also, a moderate drought is expanding across north central Pennsylvania towards the Bradford and Wellsboro and Gaelton areas up towards Buffalo as well. And you can see these yellow areas across the northern and upper Susquehanna River Valley and the Hudson River Valley becoming drier. Parts of northern and central New Jersey towards New York City as well are getting into a moderate drought. All right, so let's take a look at the overall pattern. I'll show you what's going on here. To promote this massive heat wave that's going to overtake the eastern part of the country next week. You take a look here and you see this is Sunday, July 31st. So you got this big old low pressure, this trough. Look how it kicks further to the north. So we're overcome by this massive ridge here across the east. A Bermuda high takes over. And this is going to be key in pumping that horribly hot, hazy, humid conditions across the Northeast. Now, watch what happens here. Monday, we do have a little bit of a reprieve Tuesday, as I showed you. But look at this. We're going to have this only day where we might get to the upper 80s in interior Northeast before we head well back into the 90s. Watch what happens here. This is Wednesday, August 3rd. Look at that. Wednesday, August 3rd into Thursday, August 4th. Look at this massive ridge here across northeastern North America. This is going to be pumping massive amounts of hot, humid air out of the Gulf and the Plain States and the Southeast. This is going to be a bad day here across the Northeast until Friday. We get maybe a little bit of reprieve here before the next one. Look at this, the North Central Plains. Yeah, look at that. Next weekend, Sunday, August 7th. A massive ridge overtakes the Great Lakes in the Northeast, and this could be an even bigger heat wave taking over. All right, so what's going on with this heat wave? Well, this is Friday. It's not bad. This is nice. You got a lot of 70s and 80s across the lakes in the Northeast. It's next week where I get a little bit worried. There's Saturday, looking beautiful here. Look at that, 70s and 80s across the lakes, the Northeast, Ohio Valley. But look what's coming towards the west here. We really start to warm it up here towards Sunday. We're getting into the 90s, places like Rochester, Burlington, Vermont. Look at that, Albany 92, parts of Pennsylvania getting into the 90s as well. So we have this surge of heat from two directions, the plains and the southeast. And that southerly flow is really going to take over here across the Northeast. If we get into Monday, August 1st, look at that, 90s in most locations. And look at this. Tuesday, we have a little bit of a reprieve here. A small front, if you can call it that, comes through. So it only keeps it in the 90s along the coast. But watch this as we head to Wednesday, August 3rd. We have a massive surge of 90s into the Northeast. And look what's coming towards the center part of the country. I can't show you Thursday because it's not on the scale here, but trust me, Thursday is going to be one of your hottest days of the year across the Northeast. Extended outlook, hometown viewers, upper Susquehanna River Valley from Binghamton to Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. Friday through Tuesday. Yeah, looking, we might have a stray shower or thunderstorm early to mid-afternoon Friday, mainly the morning hours, and then it clears off. You know, so you're gonna eke out a pretty nice day here. 82 degrees with lowering humidity. Saturday, look at that. That's your best day. 54 for a low. Great sleeping weather. 81, no humidity. Sunday, we have increasing heat. Yes, 88 degrees, but at least the humidity will be low. 91 on Monday. The humidity starts to increase, so you'll start to feel it later in the day as a warm front pushes through. By Tuesday, the cold front approaches 88 degrees with a chance of a shower or thunderstorm. As always, thank you for joining me for this edition of Weather Eastern. Links in the description down below if you haven't watched my outlooks, hurricane outlooks. Facebook and Media Mark, also Hurricane Northeastern, also Weather Northeastern, also Susquehanna Weather. You can also visit me at MediaMark.com, weathernortheastern.com, and Twitter at Weather Eastern.